Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript party. I don't have Rhett with me today because it is 8:16 and last week on Wednesday I did not feel well in the afternoon, so I took half the day off, and so then I made up an hour on Thursday, 2 hours on Friday, and today I'm going to try to make up an hour, and so I need to start work at 8:30, which is in a short 13 and some change minutes. So let's see. I think I have the. Yeah, I'm trying to get my tests running. I can still, guess, look at my coverage so we can get rolling. I just want to keep the ball rolling a little bit today. It's always good to do that. Um, you know, Momentum is super important with software development, and if you let it just kind of stop, it never works out well. But that is the deal. Let's see, our unit tests are in fact running. And we got a perfect score on passing, but we do not have 100%. And so let me just put that off the screen. And so if we go to all files, we see that we're doing pretty good. We're 91, 82 in branches. Everything's good except for branches. But I do want 100% just to see what's happening. And I will say that, as I've been thinking through this, it's like, man, my whole take on testing in general has changed on even what the purpose of tests are and stuff. And I've always said, the worst people to do QA are devs. And because it's just the devs come at things at such a different direction than QA. And now I'm starting to see these testing schemes in general as things that just kind of are like, they're like the skin of your body, right? They just hold everything together. um, and they're super critical, but the people, it's like having like let's say, like if you're going to do sales, right? And so you might be like a salesperson, and you might have to try like 100 people before you make a sale, and you have to be able to stay up and positive with 99 failures and then one success, and that one success is so important that it overshadows all the other losses by a mile. Well, it's the same way, like developers, we get a whole bunch of requirements. Generally, if you get in a requirement, got it's very open ended at the front. So it's like, um, there's thousands of millions of different ways to do it. You have to select them and you winnow them down, and you're just not always going to succeed. You're going to Sometimes things are going to get all the way to QA and it's going to be wrong. Who's doesn't know? There's no telling whose fault it is and all that, because sometimes you did exactly what they said, and when it's exactly what they said, that's not what they were thinking. Other times you did exactly what they're thinking and you get there and it's wrong. It just doesn't work. And other times you don't do what they're thinking, and that's just part of being a dev, it's just the reality of it. But QA, you can't make mistakes. It has to be like 100%. So I'm kind of happy because I feel like as I get through this QA, once I get it back to 100, and if I'm careful and thoughtful, I'll be able to. I feel like this architecture is getting a little sloppy. I'll be able to sort of refine the architecture. But anyways, our first unit test failure is this guy, and the very first thing I see when I see this is that, oh man, this is going to be much more difficult to test because it doesn't return anything, and it uh, it and it uses the state to figure out what's going on. And so I would rather um, not use the state. I would rather it get passed in, and that shouldn't be a problem, because we're already. Um, I mean, the template definitely will know what this reflow is, so there's no reason to not pass it in. And like I said, it is kind of funny because this test is almost like a unit test I mean, this function is almost like a unit test of the set reflow stuff, which is kind of funny. Anyway, so let's find out wherever we use toggle reflows. So I'm going to do Control F. Oop, I'm going to go over here, type in toggle reflow. All right, so in our component, we use that. So we should be able to change this to, I think the name of it is reflow, right? Yeah. So I should be able to just be like, reflow is of type. So I'm going to just say reflow. And that's of type. I don't know what I called that. Reflow type. And this is going to return a reflow type. And then I'll just do this, return this dot reflow. And then instead of using this reflow, I'm just going to say reflow. What did I do? Oh, okay, yeah. So instead of using the component attribute, I'm just going to use what gets passed in, and then basically I'm going to reset it, and then I'm going to get it from the app model service, and then I'm going to return it. I don't really see any problem with that. I don't know, it doesn't feel like 100% clean, but it actually feels too clean, I guess, is the problem. And then I think a lot of people would want to just do a return this dot reflow, and then you kind of wonder, like, why do we even have a this dot reflow? Why not just go straight to the app model service? But then you get into a whole different set of conversations about whether you should expose the app service to the UI, but then we already have it exposed to the UI, so I don't know. There's a lot of, like, I think, great stuff for, like, sort of a storming, like if you're trying to get a team to go together and you let them storm over stuff that doesn't really matter. I think that is a perfect example. So anyways, I don't know exactly how we're supposed to test this, but I guess probably just using oh, it was still building. Looking at the wrong, I guess it was still building. No, did I not save? I did not save this. Let it rebuild. And so I used to actually have just an absolute, I guess the best way to put it would be like, I would be offended by having to change my code because for the sake of a unit test. And I have definitely gotten over that. I really thought that I had a good reason. So I think that's good enough to show that the reflow changed. And we could actually go through and test reflow and stuff, but it's just like, that's a huge distraction. Okay, so it's 8:24. So now I can create a toggle reflow spec. So we can name it. And we'll just say should toggle the reflow. And then you just pass it this and not and function. We need the arrow syntax. We need our semicolon. And we hit save. So here's I'm going to pull this onto here. Save, come back over here. And we also want to watch this down here. We should get a warning, right? Oh, okay. So we actually have a console log in here somewhere too. Reset viz. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. This would be a perfect time to get rid of that. Viz. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. That's a nice thing also about unit tests, is that this will get very, very ugly very, very quickly um, if you have too much stuff. All right, so I think yeah, so we have this error here, or this warning that says we have a test that doesn't have any expectations. And so that's a great place to end up for today. Um, like I said, this was more of a just trying to keep the ball rolling. Don't let any moss grow on the rock as we roll it. So anyways, happy coding. Everybody have a great day. Hang in there. Bye.